Special education advocates. Who are we and what do we do? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my story about why I became a special education advocate and the breakthrough method that I discovered that works and gets results with parents and teachers every day. Hey, what's up? I'm April Rehrig, your special education advocate to make IEPs and 504 plans so much easier. If you're new here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and make sure to follow us at Rise Ed Advocacy. I met someone the other day and they were a former educator, and I told them that I was a special education advocate, and here's what they said to me. Oh yeah, I've worked with you before, but what do you do for real? And it caught me off guard. And so that's why I'm so excited that you're watching this video to talk about why we do what we do and sharing my story. So my story begins a long time ago, back in the day when we weren't really using a lot of online stuff and we were actually writing IEPs by hand. Did you even know that that's a possibility? So I became a teacher, and that's what my love was first and foremost. And I grew up in a family of educators. And here's what I noticed when I became a teacher. First of all, right away, my first year when I became a teacher, I got the most difficult class with almost all boys, hardly any girls, and all the kids that had the most challenging behaviors. Basically, all the neurodiverse kids got dumped in my classroom. And what I found that happened is that I didn't get the right support that I needed as an educator. And so I looked and looked for support and tools, and I didn't find anything until I discovered, well, I'm going to refer this child for testing because they're failing. And if they're failing, it's because they're not getting it. And it has nothing to do with me. It's just because they need an IEP. Boy, was I wrong. So I came to the IEP, I met the school psychologist, and I didn't even know what a school psychologist was. And she told me what I'm going to tell you. She told me, April, this student is failing because you're not teaching them in the right way. They're not learning disabled. They're actually gifted, and you're not working to teach to their strengths. That blew me away, and I fell in love with school psychology. So I left the teaching profession for the next few years, and I became a school psychologist in a big urban district. And I began testing kids all the time. And here's what I discovered. When I started testing kids, there was so much going on in the back end. And when I looked at their education file, more than likely, the parents had been asking for testing for years, and it had been there. All the red flags had been there, but the parents didn't have the right tools to refer their child, or they'd been asking and they'd been denied. And same with being a teacher. When I went back into the teaching profession a few years later and I taught kindergarten, the same thing happened. I tried to get my kids assessed. I tried to get my kids the right kind of IEP, and I kept on running into barriers. So after 20 years of being a school psychologist and a teacher and a mom to 3 kids, I started noticing patterns. Here's what I started noticing is that every parent and teacher struggles with the same 2 things. When it comes down to advocating, you have to know what to ask for and how to get it. And it comes down to communication and documentation. And that's what I discovered. And I realized I can become a special education advocate, and I can help parents and teachers by showing them a different way to do things. And I was so excited that after 20 years, I was like, you know what? I can become an advocate. And I can be a school psychologist and I can be a mom, and there's a better way that we can help kids thrive. Don't you agree? I created this channel for you to show you what the IEP and the 504 process looks like, and show you how to get the best education plan for your child or student right now. What do we do at Rise Advocacy? What makes us different? So at Rise Advocacy, what we do is we work with parents and teachers, which first of all is really different from most advocates. And we also want to create a platform and a place for parents and teachers to go to get the right tools and resources. Advocacy is a learned skill, so it shouldn't just be someone like myself that's able to navigate the process for you. I want to take you behind the scenes and to make it easier. So at Rise, we've created blogs, we've created do-it-yourself fillable templates on Teachers Pay Teachers, do-it-yourself IEP workshops, and also I work with families as an advocate and I do group training. So basically, what we do at Rise is we try to work with everybody at the table to make the process easier and to help revise special education and reform education disability supports so that kids can get the supports and services they need without the wait. So now that I've shared with you my story, the Rise difference, and what we do to work with parents and teachers, let me ask you something. What do you want me to talk about? What part of the IEP and the 504 process are giving you drama? Make sure to put in the comments below all the areas that you want to learn about and things that you want to have a breakthrough approach so that you can help your child or student thrive. Let's talk about your next steps. Now that you've found Rise and you found a place where you feel like you can belong and get the tools and the resources you need, whether it's the IEP process or 504s, to make the process easier, make sure to subscribe to keep up to date and to get all of our videos so that you feel like you can have an easier time at the table. Don't forget to put in the comments below what you want me to talk about next, and check out all the links and the tools and the resources so that you can get the help you need to advocate like a champ.